Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for Fire Force Season 2, Episode 10. So, right out of the gate, this episode dealt with the conclusion, aftermath of this arc, and what the next move is going to be. And now that we are on Episode 10, which is 2 episodes away from the halfway point of the season, I think just based off the pacing of these past couple episodes and what we're going to be going into from here on out, I'm definitely more positive now more than ever of where this season will probably end, because if you think about the through line of what this season up to this point is building up to, and what this episode in particular signified as to where we're going to be going next, all through lines at this point are leading us into a conflict with Hajime Industries and the Holy Soul Temple. And I think it's on the conclusion of that story arc, or a little bit after, which is where we can expect this season to end. Because the pretty much next arc, which is going to be focusing on the Holy Soul Temple, is really just is its own story arc, but it's also a prelude. And the Holy Soul Temple arc is really only like 7 chapters long. Whereas the arc that focuses on basically Hajime itself is around 17 chapters long. So when you combine those two together, that's 24 chapters of content. So I think just from combining these two arcs together, you can kind of see that you could definitely get a lot of material out of these two arcs in itself. So I think that more in itself also feeds into how I think this season that's probably where this season is going to conclude. And even if it doesn't, I think where it probably will end, if not will end, is I think where you can probably expect it to end then is probably is a little bit after the Hajime arc with a mini arc that's focused on Iris. Like it's one of those things where it's either going to end with at this point I believe that this second season will end with either the French stuff with the French Hajime arc, or with the Iris arc. That's kind of the two options I'm seeing here right now. So yeah. With that said, we learned a major revelation with this arc and the conclusion with the fight with pretty much Tepe. We learned a major revelation about pretty much Tepe the demon, which is that he was one of the first people to be turned into an infernal after the Great Cataclysm by the evangelist, which on the surface might not seem all that important, but at the same time it shows just how much the influence of the French evangelist has grown over the entire world, pretty much since that one point, where she's basically manipulated everyone, and where her influence has spread so far over Tokyo and the entire world that she's basically manipulated everyone. And earlier, just before Shinra finished Tepe off, we got a bit of a warning from the Lady in Black that all she did was provide a momentary safe haven until the time when the next cataclysm occurs. So it's really kind of pushing on the idea that no matter what is done in that moment and how hard our heroes fight, even if they prevent the cataclysm from occurring, it's still eventually going to happen again. And oddly enough, as we see, it shows that in terms of stopping this cycle, it has actually nothing to do with defeating the evangelist, because, as Licht mentioned, it's in this episode, everything they've learned completely contradicts the teachings of the Holy Soul. So while defeating her will stop the creation of infernals, at the same time, with the reveal that the Lady in Black was the original pillar, and that Amaterasu was the first pillar, it pretty much sets the stage that society has allowed itself in order to become corrupted by the influence of the French evangelist. And honestly, I'll just say right off the bat, this with pretty much so many reveals of how far the influence of the evangelist has spread since even before the beginning of the series. It really kind of gives me like, I mean, well, people will know this, but I'm a huge Full Metal Alchemist fan, and this is really giving me like a lot of vibes of Full Metal Alchemist and Father, like in the same vein of basically how Father had for so long had for so long been corrupting and influencing things that were happening in Amestris. I'm getting the same vibes here with basically how the evangelist has pretty much corrupted and influenced society in so many ways. Like this is that this is almost the same kind of reveal to me as the reveal is like as one of the major reveals in Fullmetal Alchemist that Father was the one who created Masters for the sole purpose of being sacrificed for his to create the Philosopher's Stone. This is that exact same moment for me. It gave me those exact same vibes, and honestly, in general, it just shows that. In general, it also just shows that once the again though it shows that once again that once the evangelist is defeated, society moving forward will have to come to terms with its own morality and complicity in all this in order to find an alternative way in which to power the Amaterasu, as well as tap into the same type of power in order to create same power to create instead of destroy. Because if they don't, then the cycle of the Great Cataclysm will still continue even without the evangelist. So yeah, a really great. Honestly, like there's a lot of people who find this stuff boring, but honestly, it's again just the whole vibe of this episode. It gave me those same feelings as like of Full Metal of like Father and Full Metal Alchemist and whatnot. So in that sense, I got to give it some major points. Now, talking art and animation this week is interesting because while there were many bright spots where the color just popped off the screen and really seemed to thrive largely in the more atmospheric moments of the episode, in the area of this where it was really lacking was in character designs, and keeping characters consistent, because there were more than a few times watching this episode where characters did appear off model, and I'm not even talking about that crazy part near the end where all the characters' eyes just went crazy when they celebrated their victory, because that was in the manga and part of Okubo's style, but just a moment here or there where character models looked like there were just moments here or there where character models looked like they need a little extra time to be drawn. So really, it's really just a typical problem, but when contrasted with the moments where the art and animation was great, the off-model moments definitely tended to stick out more. So yeah, a little bit of a problem in the character model department with this episode for me, but aside from that, everything else was pretty damn good, I'd say. And again, like very colorful. Like this is one of those episodes that really takes use of making the colors pop on screen. So I have to give it that much at least. And yeah, so pretty much the next. So pretty much the next episode is pretty much from here. Our next targets are going to be the Holy Soul Temple and the Hajime Corporation. So yeah, we're really getting into the parts of the series where it's really all about the internal and societal corruption of Tokyo and the Fire Force industry in itself and the Fire Force itself. So yeah, it's really going to be interesting to really dive into just how far this corruption really goes, and it seems the next episode is going to be focusing on Licht with this as well, which I don't know was in the manga or not, I forget, but hopefully that's not going to be too much of a filler episode. Hopefully that's not just going to be like a filler episode or something like that, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, guys. That's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Actually, I'd really like to hear your comments. I really want to start a discussion on this episode, because honestly, again, this episode just really dived into a lot of just really opened up opened up the floodgates in terms of just how complicit and just complicit that this whole world has been in with the evangelist, even if they haven't done it intentionally. So yeah, but yeah, guys, that's all. I really like to hear your opinions on this. So, but that's all I got, guys. Death Knight of Anime signing off. Later.